storytelling run. I've got this weird setup. Okay, I am going to Strategicon, and I'm going to do some games. And I wonder if I can show this silliness to you. I've got to take all this stuff with me. I mean, it's not a whole lot. This is at the table over there in the kitchen, or dining room rather, and it's got all my stuff. It's the character sheets, the pre-made characters. These are all printouts for cutouts, but I've got the little characters here, the tokens, and and then and I got the cutouts for the simple scenario I'm going to do with dragons or velociraptors. But yeah, dragons in the Dark Ages, 6th, 7th century, is dinosaurs, terrible lizards, and some maybe a mob might show up if they fail their gospel preaching. But that's the basic setup. This is just extra stuff I'm going to show. I'm going to get some free dice there. I just had a bunch left over, and it's all in this notebook right here, or folder, or whatever this thing is. So that's what I'm taking. Anyway, for the fun of it, and I'm going to keep the adventure pretty simple. They're going to the village, a couple of huts. They're told to go there by the church. Something's amiss about the warning of a dragon or evil god that they all may worship, or they're not really sure. So they go there and they're going to find the villagers and worshiping a dragon and a cave nearby. Okay, very simple. I'll probably work it out a little more. But what if you were trying to create an adventure and playing a Christian RPG with evangelism and church planning, which is absolutely medieval history through and through. Fantasy is created by Christians, the church culture that took over the pagan culture and turned it into fantasy. We turned it into fun stories. We turned the evil spirits of elves and dwarves and giants and goblins that people feared. They feared them and worshipped them and gave offerings to them. We turned them into fantasy. So we Christians are the ones who created fantasy. We created the Greek mythology as a form of entertainment. Remember, back then, they believed this stuff and followed it absolutely as a fear thing, a worshiping thing, an offering thing, a sacrifice thing, a human sacrifice thing, a slavery too. But we Christians turned it into a fantasy. And sadly, we have, as Christians, have given it up. Anyway, think about this. I am trying to get people to understand that we can create a medieval fantasy, not sans Christianity, but with Christianity. I think sans is without. With Christianity and true Christianity. I'm kind of getting impatient and curmudgeon and annoyed by, in a silly way, that we're ignoring that and pretending that we just need to have a good time and not have. No, we can have a good time and replicate somewhat in a silly way, though, in an amalgam type way, medieval history, fantasy, and RPGs and OSR style. And here, this right here, non-player and character encounter. So this could be on the road. This could be at the people at the village, like the immediate encounter. I'm gonna roll. Oh, I need my dice. I'm going to roll. Oh, man, my microphone's over here. They caught all that. Anyway, let me pull out my dice. Where's my dice tray? I'll just roll it here on this. Okay, let me get some dice out here. I'm gonna roll. What do I need here? D12. A bunch of stuff everywhere. That's not gonna work. Okay, I need some water. Okay, so social standing. This is to help you as new GMs just roll through these and start getting some ideas. Start getting ideas. Just roll through and think about the encounters, like as your missionaries go into, because they're going to go towards the population centers first to see what is amiss. They meet in a tavern. They meet in the village. They meet at the village market square. They go to the village to find out what's going on because they want to start a church there. That's the goal. Evangelism. Okay, so they're going to encounter people. So who do they encounter first? 7. Ooh, hired hands. Some freedom, mercenaries, travelers, adventurers, soldiers, retired pilgrims, lowly merchant. Okay, so that's a good group to meet. All right. Let me do the professions and then I'll name it. Profession, D20. 16. Belt maker, leather crafter, gear, repair, upgrade, small shop, leather goods. So they're going to go meet the leather maker, belt maker, leather tanner in this village, and they believe that will be the point of contact for the village to see what's going on. Let's just say. All right. Well, let's get a name. Now you can choose either list. I'm going to just choose the first one. And I need 3D. For a villager, the hired mercenary, I could do the first syllable and the second syllable, I would say, not the third. I could probably just do the first syllable. It depends. I might just do the first syllable because that's kind of a lowly. Let me see. 18 is Ool. I mean, his name could be Ool. Tanner Ool. Yeah, why not? All right. Tanner Ool is who they're going to either meet or will encounter first. Or Tanner Ool will be the first person there. They better encounter that person somehow. All right. Paganism. I'm going to skip that. Oh, skip this too. I don't know why I have those first, but whatever. Church activity, gaining glory points. Wow. Okay. I mean. So this is to give you color of the area. I mean, that is kind of what it is. But I'm going to move over to village and part of town. Okay, so we're going to go into the village area and decide what is the main commerce of this village or place, right? And I'm just going to do a small village because I want to keep this simple. So, a small village would have a smith, tanner, farmers, and maybe a few others like road maker, cobbler, and blah blah blah. And this is just something for you to read through and get the gist of an area of the place. You can kind of jump around to wherever you want as far as what you think should be in that area. So I'm going to do country mill, tanner. I'll do a country mill, but I already got the tanner, so I'm gonna do that. So it could be one of these sort of buildings if you want to do one of these cutouts of mine or do your own. Ooh, country mill plots then. Okay, so let's roll that. 1d6. 4. Taken over by bandits, locals have fled. Ooh, wow. Well, you got your adventure right there. So Tanner Ool is not there. He's in hiding, or maybe he catches them on the road, or he comes to the church and says, "These bandits have taken my place up. Please help us, and I will help you. With your church." See, boom, right there, done. Got your adventure. Bandits. Okay, let's do it. The bandits. That's kind of cool. I might even use that too. That's kind of interesting. Let me think. Bandits. Okay, village outskirts. No. I want to do what kind? Why are these bandits there? Maybe they're a pagan. Activity. Let me roll that for these bandits. They have taken over because of their local pagan activity. If I'm starting off as a low, I'm not gonna do 1d12. I could do a d4 because a d4 is sort of the beginner adventure. So I'm just gonna do a d4. This is the cool new safe d4. This is the deadly lethal d4. And this is the cool new happy dappy d4. So I'm gonna use that one because I'm an old guy. I need 3. Manipulative charlatans act as spiritual leaders. Manipulative charlatans. Okay. Let me roll here now. Same thing. D4. 2. Just desperate. Manipulative charlatans. Desperate. Okay. I'm getting a. Now this modus operandi could be any of these. I'm gonna just roll a D6. 1. Lust. So I say lust here, but I don't mean. I don't want this to be a sexual thing, but I do want it to be like these pagans are looking to seduce and exploit anyone who's weak in morals and lure them to their own beautiful idols, pageantry, and pomp. Okay, so these kind of bandits are charlatans, maybe drunkards. You could have them be drunkards. They could be like bards that kicked out the tanner. They're cutthroats, but they're ex maybe city people with problems, and they're hiding out in this little village, and just desperate. Lust being they're crazy, they're pompous, that kind of thing. I don't need a location because that's this. Established location, field, die rank. I don't need this. I feel like I've got what I want. I'm just going to do a bunch of characters. And I'm going to stop right there. So I don't want to use that adventure for this beginning thing, but it could be an interesting adventure. It could be something that you could use as a quick side off, because what I'm doing there is going to be more with kids and families. And I don't want to go this kind of route with this thing, but this is kind of interesting though. I can still do this kind of characters in my own games as a interesting. Not everything has to be a full-on pagan temples and sacrifices. It could be criminal elements. All right, let me. I want to continue with that one though, with the criminal elements, because I want to move over to, this is getting more pagan curses and creepy stuff. But I want to get to local disposition of these bardic criminal elements. Like I see them wearing, those sort of bardic blouse type pantaloons, and and the sort of, I guess, Renaissance looking stuff is what I'm thinking. But I see them wearing those sort of that sort of Renaissance sort of clothes, and feather plumes, and but dirty and criminal and escaping, whatever. I'm gonna roll a d8 because they could be on any level of this here. Let's see. And this just helps you decide. And now I could roll 2 d8s and pick lower, especially since they're bandits, which I think I should do because they are bandits. They're not, but they're lust and they're desperate. Well, all of those to me are pretty negative. Although I gave them those negatives. I'm trying to think if I want to do 2 d8s and pick the lowest, or just d8 and make it. Who knows what they are? I'm gonna do d8. I'm gonna challenge myself. So this can go either way. 3, so they're pretty evil. Evil is chaff, tends towards selfish needs, that makes sense, can be manipulative, tends not to use violence like a greedy merchant, but will if they can get away with it. They surrender to save their own skin. They have feelings of worthlessness if affirmed, blah, blah. So there are 3 die ranks to resist, which is a d8. This is d4 is die rank 1, die rank 2, die rank 3, where's the 10? Die rank 4, and the die rank 5. Okay, so that's the die ranks. So 3 die rank resist is I add this to their roll, their d20 plus their spirit, and then this, and then that's the number that they got to beat if they try to preach to them. I mean, we could add other factors in there as well. Are they drunk? I would add 1 for a drunk. I would add 1 for if they're all together laughing and cahooting, against the Christians, and I would give them this because I would go up in ranks. And for me as a GM, especially for beginning games, I will top it off at D12. You could go further into the dice pools, but I'm not going to, don't worry. But for beginners, just want to, that's it. Go stop at D12. That's enough, if it's a bonus, because they'll get this plus their trait to do a resist roll. Because they're already very resistant, starting at D8. And then if they're together, that's this. And then if they're drunk, or they're drunk or drink, I don't even mind doing that with kids because I want kids to know how bad drinking is. So, they're all and again, so I would make this their resistance to. And if it goes really bad, they're going to get violent, or they'll threaten the Christians, kick them out, and then let's go kill them. Ambush them on the road. Let's sneak up on them, or and then because I would do a combat. But I would obviously too make it so that if the combat goes bad for these bandits, they would surrender pretty quickly, and forcibly sobered up, and a chance during the day to preach to them again, and if that doesn't work and they're still resistant, then you could threaten them and just kick them out of town, and they leave, and then the Tanner Ul returns, and then he appreciates what you do, and then you have a better chance of preaching to him to then plant a church. So there's that. I wouldn't do that though for the Strategicon, because I have a very simple, the village, the dragon. So this one is more nuanced, and I don't want to do nuanced for the Strategicon. But let's do it again. I'm gonna do it again. This time I'm gonna do a generic one, where I really start with the pagan X roll, and I start with the pagan activity first, and I can go back to some of these other things, the village, town, or whatever, to just to fill in what's going on at this village, town, or whatever. And if you go to town or city, make us just that one little area where they got to go to, that little parish where they got to go. But let's start with the pagan X crawl, and start with this. And I'm gonna just do D12 because I'm just doing total random. Oh my gosh, 11. Ancient site of horrifying rituals, haunted, or great beast lair. Pick a beast legend trope. Ah! Ancient site of horrifying rituals, haunted, or great beast lair. Pick a beast legend trope. Well, there's your dragon trope right there. All right, I'm just going to go with that for the fun of it and just see if that even ties in with what I'm doing. So there's a dragon lair. That's my trope. Pagan mode of the leader. This refers to the human that may be involved, which would be someone in the village, or a witch or a witch nearby is the one who's controlling this communication between the two, between the dragon and the village, and the sacrifices or offerings or whatever. So what is this witch's motive? 1 through 8. And by the way, I still roll a d12. See, that says DR here. That means die rank. So die rank refers to what is your die rank that you want to roll for this table. In mine being 5, which is the highest on for this type of thing. 5 is like I said, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's 5 die ranks. And 5 being obviously the highest. I mean, you can't go dice pool with these, but yeah, technically you could actually. But so here's die rank 6. I would roll d12 and a d4. Pick the highest, right? So die rank 7 is this is too much information, but whatever. Doing it anyway. As you can see, it just keeps pooling to the higher. It just keeps, it's divisible by 5. So if you have 10 die ranks, it's 2d12s. If you have 12 die ranks, it's 5 die ranks, 5 die ranks, and then 2 more is a d6. So you would have this is 15 die ranks. What is it? You roll the highest. You roll and you pick the highest 9. Okay. Thusly, I use die ranks for skills, all skills and bonuses and stuff, because that way the person doesn't get too overpowered too quickly with a constant number, and you get to continually add more die ranks based on blessings and skills and magic items or holy items and advantage factors. And you can get 12 die ranks, 13 die ranks, 15 die ranks, and it doesn't kill the game. It doesn't make the characters plus 15. It gives, if they're plus 15 in this, they get to roll this, and where's another d12? All right, let's say they get 14 die ranks. 14 die ranks is divided by 5 is 2, remainder 4, which is 4 is a d10, right? 2 d12s and a 4 d10. So this is what they roll plus their d20 for whatever. Okay, see, and he fails. Look, I rolled a 2 and a 7. That's 9 plus his, let's say, prowess of 3. So that would be 9 and 3 is 12. He probably missed, even though he had 14 die ranks. Now obviously these high level characters go, man, but this is what I love about this game, is that it gives you this range of potential for success and failures. Whereas if you just roll a d20 plus 15 or plus 14, you're always going to get 16 right there. You're probably going to hit whatever you're after. I mean, unless you're doing a dragon or whatever. But you get my point, right? The range here it's much higher. My bell curve is much wider as far as the dice go, and that way the characters don't feel overpowered when they're playing. They're always nervous when they roll, so it's great, even when they're got a lot. Okay, sorry, I went off on a tangent there. Let me move this out of the way. I didn't roll this yet. Okay, so what I rolled was a trope. So I'm gonna use the dragon trope. I'm gonna roll the motive of the leader, the witch or whoever. Obviously, the dragon is just a dragon. 6. Finding power, seeks black magic. Kind of gone, knows their power is evil now. Okay, so that is an evil person. Let me roll this to decide the MO of this witch. What is she after, or how does she carry herself in this one? Lust again, darn it. Man, a dragon. So a pageantry of she wants to throw on a show every time they have a sacrifice. And for kids, I would do livestock sacrifices, and I would sort of grumble that the farmers are running out of livestock. What are they going to do now? They're getting poor and starving, and the dragon is hungrier and hungrier. What are they going to do? And sort of do a silly implication that what else they're going to sacrifice humans now? What are they? Are the people really going to accept that? I'll probably leave it like at that. But I'm going to say that this witch then is going to be an actual advisor of the local leader of this little village. And they put on a show. We are going to give to the dragon. Do like a party, like a silly, lustful pageantry type thing. And it's a wonderful thing to do. You all should offer to. I think I will follow that. To the dragon. And the dragon, I'm already going to do a cave, so I don't need to do a location. I'm kind of done. I feel like that's it. But what I want to do is I don't want to add a bunch of stuff to this adventure because of the nature of it being only 3 hours, and gotta kind of get to the story quickly and introduce him. But I'm gonna go ahead and do it as if it were a longer campaign where there was more going on. So let me just do that. So we'll stick with the dragon. She's seeking. Oh, she's very evil. So she's definitely seeking black magic. So she's okay. So she's going to be doing this show. You all must give. You all. So I'm going to make it more like she's a little darker because she knows what she's doing is evil. She's not sort of good intentions or just desperate or seeks riches through manipulation. She's actually knowing that they're going to have to do human sacrifices soon. She's knowing that. She's not telling that, but she's getting them ready for that by doing these dark rituals with. I would say her magic is flashes of colors and like fireworks, not crazy, but like smoke, fireworks, and to give to the dragon and appease his spirit, that kind of thing. All right, let me. I'm gonna color out the. Maybe there's a dragon cold or. Let me just roll. See, instead of me thinking of it, which I should stop doing right now because I'm a 45-year veteran GM, instead of doing that, or maybe I'm 47 now. Whatever it is that I'm doing here, I should stop doing it and just let the dice help me out here. So I rolled a 3. Village, town, obvious or hidden within. Okay, so they're integrated into the village, this dragon cult. A lot of the village, then, there's a good chance they are. Let me go ahead and the location feel. Now I'm rolling a d12 because I'm just picking the highest highest die. 3, temporary setup of pagan activities but benefiting from established resources, members, or organization nearby. Okay, so the establishment may not necessarily have to be fully behind pagan intrusion or alliance and mutual benefits. Depends on establishment conversion level. Okay, so they do a dragon festival, I would say every moonlit night in the village. The village itself maybe has a dragon pole, but everything is not dragon, right? There's a dragon pole. They all go to it. They're having a ritual. They got to give their offerings of livestock and stuff, and each farmer is supposed to, but they don't have enough, kind of a thing. They're running low or starving, not starving, but getting frustrated and worried. Okay, so that's good. Extent of the setup. I'm just adding more flavor for the fun of it. Okay, so maximum. Enhance 5, but add more crypt, catacombs, dungeons, sewers, caves, secret passages. 5, walls, guarded tower, entrance hall, rituals. Okay, this was unnecessary, but because I already have this set up. Because it's temporary setup in place. So that's fine. Enforcers of the leader. Okay, so the witch, what does she have? 6. Roll a d4 for 1 below, right? Plus a tough guy with a bear, lion, panther, or large wolves used in worship too. All right. So you can have a tough guy with some sort of pet. Maybe he has a pet dragon, like a smaller dragon that they're all afraid of, and that don't upset the pet dragon or you'll upset the godly dragon. And then the d4 for additional local goons, weak minions who act tough and are generally paid or offered, usually cheap and later tawdry. So then you have that too. Enforcer enhancements. Let's do that. 7. Better armor arms imbued with pagan symbols, having an advantage but also a disadvantage, like crushing but very heavy or poisonous, requires application. So if say, I'm going to say he has a pet dragon, and better arms are imbued with pagan symbols, an advantage but also a disadvantage. So he could have like I must say he has like a war club with dragon teeth in it. That does extra damage, but can break easily because it's the teeth can break off easily because they're not steel. So if he rolls a 1 through 4, the teeth break off, but they do extra damage if they don't break off. Something like that. I would do something cool like that. Okay. More adventure ideas. That's just for more, which I don't need right now. Family-friendly paganism, die rank. I don't need any. I feel like I'm done as far as that goes. That story. This is for like a longer campaign or adding more stuff to the area, that you can do. Let me do. This is the local disposition of the people themselves, the ones that are not part of the rituals and stuff. I mean, they are, but are they agreeable with it or are they frustrated with them? 4, neutral evil, very suspicious, cautious, defensive, prone to outbursts of violence, so they're all upset and angry. Then shame. something calamitous or profitable could sway them to more evil. Their anger is destroying them. Will they be called to freedom? To die rank resist. So whenever you try to preach to them or calm them down, they're going to add this to the and their spirit roll plus their spirit as the difficulty number for them to resist. Or you could take 12 and add this to it. It's up to you as a GM, because 12 is a default, and you could just add this to it to make it harder, which is probably the better way to do it. I know I designed this, and you could do it either way. It depends. It just depends on the moment. Sometimes I'll do a 12 and then just add the d6, or sometimes I'll just roll it. Roll versus roll. It's more of a roll off, actually. Yeah. Now that I think about it, it is more of a roll off. Anyway, hey, loosey goosey here. So that's how they are. Yeah, neutral evil. They are resistant. They do it. They accept it. Something major has to change their mind. And I would say that if you succeed at defeating the dragon and exposing the witch who sort of controlled the dragon with her offerings and feeding it and taming it to her will, and I always do like a drug thing where if the villagers don't comply, she drugs the dragon and unleashes it on the village and it goes crazy. When they discover that, there could be a mob, and if she gets away, there could be a mob thing where they attack they want to kill her and burn her at the stake, and the missionaries then have to decide what they're going to do. Are they going to accept that, or try to stop the neutral evil villagers from taking vengeance on her? Because pagan on pagan violence is real. So there's your another sort of way of doing it. Now, does every mission have to be where you have to convert people? No. You can have a thing where the dragon lair has a dungeon in there, and then you can just go off and do a dungeon crawl. You can you can do those things. You can do old ancient temples, pagan temples with treasures in them, and that they can go find these things. And if they return that treasure to the church, they can get a glory point or two, and maybe a holy item from the church. Or they could find a holy item in the temple, a lost holy item they can use in the temple. You can place those things there. Holy items give die ranks, just like magic items or whatever. So this game is not limited to just Bible study, or Bible lessons. You can throw in any kind of dungeon you want. You can play off of I put back here pits and trap falls. I do actual demons. Here's an example of a cave system and a worshipping, thing at the end there where they've hidden away the cultists. These are creatures that I say these are like primeval, primordial, prehistoric type creatures with in the fossil record kind of a thing, or me exaggerating. This is obviously a big exaggeration, but so what? You can have creatures that we don't know if they existed or not, kind of things. And I mean, it's just a Siamese twin type of thing, which I know they call it something else now, but I like Siamese twin. I like Siamese twin because it adds flavor to your language. We don't just make it neutral and gray and boring. Siamese twin is it's cultural, it's weird, it's odd, but it adds flavor and history to the name, to the wording definition of something, or to our language, which makes our language better. If I don't like how the woke is trying to it's not called Siamese twin now, it's called conjoined twins or something like that, which is boring. Anyway, because Siamese twins were the first most famous ones, I think, initially, at least in the modern media age. Okay, so here there's also a section back here in the book where you can sort of roll out a catacombs and sort of roll out what you would like it to be and what could be in there and what different things, what sort of things will be found in there. And this is treasures, searching around and gaining treasures, like gaining points. And these are tables on what you could encounter in there, and these are all in the book. All the creatures are here, and they're sort of done from. They're sort of the way I put the order of the creatures is sort of low level to higher level and scarier, kind of a thing. Not it's not exacto like that, but see at the beginning it's vermin and you should make your way up through this list as you play the game, having them encounter more and more creepier stuff to get to the demonics, demons. And demons are, we believe in demons. We don't necessarily believe them like this, but But this is fun, and they could be, you could play them as, are they actual demons, or are they sort of this evil spirits that are visualized this way by the Christians as they fight them and try to, cast them out or fight them out or whatever. And then I got some examples of character sheets here, or characters, and this is like GM screens in the back. This is where you could go, just familiarize yourself with these, and you can always run back here to, these are all the blessings and curses, and I just try to do like a sort of a GM screen, preemptive GM screen back here. Okay, so that's my book, and explaining how you can kind of make adventures, and just going through it, and just talking about it over and over and over and over and over, because I'm not trying to brag about this, I'm the only Christian RPG person out here that has, I'll keep it on this page, that has evangelism and church planning in the game. Okay, so that's what I have. And see, you got creepy. You can have your humanoids. You can have your werewolves, your wood elves. Got your witches and sorcerers and warlocks, and you got your forest nymphs and trolls, and troll guards. Witch of the trolls, there she is. You got your cave folk, your goblin dark dwellers. They got some darkness spells, which is just choking dust, shadowy fears, dark ritual. Okay, so it's it's tricky, man. It's tricky making a game. Anyone else that wants to make a Christian RPG, I will say do not do it. Do not do it. Just play this game. This works. It's Christian RPG. It's evangelism, church planning, create settings. Feel free to do a Kickstarter with an adventure setting. I don't care. But as long as you follow these tenets. Now, if you don't follow these tenets, then go these things here. Then go use some other OSR and do your Christian thing, or make your own. But this took me 2 years, over 100 playtesters, $20,000 ish, on all the different things I try to do and go after. None of my Kickstarters made me any money. I mean, I made maybe $100 a month, out of all of it, and obviously losing money because of how much work it took. It took me, on this last Kickstarter, I made $1,400. I cleared $700. It took me 3 months to finish it, get this all done. So that's how much money I made off of it. $700 in 3 months. And it was a headache to get them. I only had like 15 supporters. Thank you guys, backers. But it was just a headache for me to even do, send them all out. And I still got 3 to send out. I'm still waiting for them to give me their address. So I'm saying to you, don't make it. It takes 2 or 3 weeks to make the game. Yeah, that part's easy. Making the game is easy. Finding players to commit and playtest, I paid people. That was hard. And going over it, over and over and over and over it. And it was hard. But now it's done for me. The die rank system thing is the one thing I'm a little nervous about, as far as I feel like I'm throwing people off with it, because it's kind of hard to grasp initially. And so I feel like I'm turning people off with the dice pool thing here. I love it so much, but I feel like it's not like a Shadow Dark, where you just get your D20, your +5, and you're done. You're ready to go roll. I don't do it that way because they got to cap it at 10th level. I didn't want to cap it at 10th level and just throw your character away and start with a new one. I wanted you to have a character where you keep playing forever and ever, as long as you wanted, because we Christians believe in life. So that's why I came up with the die ranks and the dice pool, and you could, you can keep adding more and more die ranks, and it turns into a dice pool, and rolling to keep the highest, so that your characters never become too overpowered, and you get to keep playing them campaign after campaign. And it can get unwieldy at some point, but it's going to be a lot longer. And they should retire at that point anyway. And you should start a new character. But anyway, that's the one thing I'm kind of concerned about. I could remove it. It would just turn it into another sort of OSR where you play a short-lived character, which, I may do at some point. I don't know. But I talked to my players that played my Christian Space game. I said, should I do away with the direct? They go, no, we really like it. But it does take a little effort to get it. But once you get it, I'm done. I don't have to, I barely look at the book. And look, my rules are this. This is it. I only need this for my rules. That's all all I need. Okay, making a missionary. I stretched it out and added all these skills and stuff to make the character. But there, it's done. The rules. No, this is the character sheet, obviously. It's kind of part of the rules. Oh, sorry. Here's the gear. Oh, okay, that's it. This is the gear, the characters, ruling out the character skills, and there's the rules right here. That's it. This is all the rules you need. This is all the rules I use. I mean, for Dark Ages. Oh wait, where's blessings? No, blessings are here. No. They are. Where are the blessings? Where? Over here. Yeah. That's all you need for the rules. Okay. All right, game of life, everybody. Roll holy dice. The game of life. Roll holy dice.